And for my volunteer hours at Anza Valley Christian School, I chose to analyze three aspects. One was culture of the organization, the next was group dynamics, and the third was class inequality. As I analyzed these areas, I looked both qualitatively and quantitatively, but mainly qualitatively. I interviewed people who work there. I watched them interact with the students. I even watched parents and the teachers and the leaders, how they all interacted together, and interviewed many of them and watched quite a few also. So, first off, I did notice that in the culture of this organization, they did have some different elements of their culture that were evident. Some was in the materials they used at this private school. They used a curriculum called Accelerated Christian Education, which is an individualized curriculum developed for each student individually, and which set them apart from other schools in their area, and just in how they can meet the needs of each of these students individually. Also, I noticed that their value system was very different than the public school in their area. Now, this school is a non-for-profit school and does try to serve the community in that realm. Some of their values are very Christian and very distinctly Christian, which does set them apart from other organizations in the community that help children and parents in this area. Also, I noticed that they're set up in a unique way to serve the community. They are set up under a church. The church decided among themselves that they would start a Christian school with the goal to serve students in the community who maybe weren't being served well in a public education setting, or whose parents just wanted them to have education with Christian morals, or just for struggling students. And it's done very well at doing that from what I've observed. I asked teachers how they liked teaching there, and they all seemed to really enjoy it. And they said that they've seen major differences in students' lives as they've worked there. For the group dynamics, their leadership is selected similar to any other job. They are interviewed and then they are hired on after the school board there determines if it would be a good fit for their school. They are part of a larger bureaucracy. They are part of Anza Baptist Church, which is located in Anza. The church did decide to start the school as a nonprofit organization. And some of the benefits that this school has received from the church is that they are able to help them financially. They're able to support children coming to school for free. They're able to get volunteers from the church. The church is very strong in the community, so it's been able to use that influence to help strengthen the school in many areas. Another thing that I noticed there is that there was a very cohesive group for the most part. It seemed like the teachers had a lot of communication going back and forth. Also, the church seemed to be very connected to the school in some ways. In other ways, when I asked some church members what they knew about the school, some of them just knew that there was a school and that's all they knew. Others were highly involved in the school. So I think they can do a little better on getting all the church members involved in the school, but overall they're doing an okay job. You could definitely tell there was a leader of the group. I would definitely say it was the person in charge of the board. She did very good at leading. She was very involved in the school, and it was all volunteer for her. She didn't get paid for it, and you could tell she really enjoys helping these people at the school. As far as class inequality goes, the organization is funded through very minimal payments that the parents make for their education of their child. Also, the church funds a lot. Many of the older members in the church sponsor children. Many of the students are on a work study program where they work at the school after hours to pay for their tuition. And there's all kinds of different things. One of the parents I talked to, she gives piano lessons to pay for her child to go there. Another parent, she cleans the restrooms and does janitorial work for her child to go there. Others they've received grants from outside sources to go to this school. Another way that they receive funding, as I just mentioned, was through grants. There is a grant writer who works hard to get this school a lot of grants so that they can function on a level of high education, and she's doing a good job at that. They always say they could use more money, and they're always searching for other grants out there. They do a lot of fundraisers. They do this with the community. The community gets highly involved in it. Their next fundraiser is going to be actually a horse ride, so that was interesting hearing them talk about that, how excited everybody was, even down to the students were excited about this fundraiser. And the students also do a lot of their own fundraising to help buy items for their classroom that will help them learn. And for volunteers, they actually have quite a few volunteers. The way they generate interest is usually through the parents. The parents volunteer first. The parents talk to their friends about, how much fun they have volunteering and how much they enjoy it. And they get volunteers from the community quite often. Some of these volunteers maybe will do wood shop with the students, or they might do piano lessons, or they might teach sign language, or they might teach another foreign language. There's all kinds of different volunteers throughout the community. So I think it's really neat how they've been able to involve the community with this project that they have here at the school. It's an amazing thing that they've done, just to see a church open up a Christian school and make it open to the poor in their community. I think that's amazing. A lot of Christian schools do cater to the more wealthy, the more affluent. This Christian school has been able to reach out to the poor in their town, and they've made a big difference.